You're watching The Joe Cronin Show.
What's up, wrestling fans? And today we're talking about the 10 major WWE superstars that hated John Cena. This is going to be a wild one. Number 10, The Rock. And this is by, of course, whatculture.com. And it is a interesting article, as they always have. When Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made his triumphant return to WWE in 2011 as the host of WrestleMania 27, the seeds were planted for a pair of matches that would headline back-to-back WrestleManias. We didn't know that was going to happen, folks, but it did, and it went down. Johnson had been quoted as saying the two almost came to blows several times, and that the tension that you saw on television between the two was genuine. Mostly it stemmed from two alpha dogs who were both driven to be the best butting heads, and Cena taking his promos a little too far, especially when he called The Rock out for having his promo notes written on his hand. Although what I don't understand about that is I think The Rock took it pretty damn far himself. I mean, that's what the whole point of the damn thing was. It was damn good. It seems that there were several guys backstage who resented The Rock walking back into two straight Mania events, and he wasn't as welcome as he felt he should have been. Regardless, the two went out and did business like true professionals and have since ironed out their differences. It was an okay time. I mean, I was happy with it happening once. I wasn't really happy with it happening twice. And I can totally see why Cena be pissed. I mean, like, listen, I've been here. You know, you're in Hollywood. You don't need to come here and take a spot. You know, maybe that's how they felt. But it was awesome. Well, I don't know if it was the match wasn't that awesome, but the whole time was awesome. I remember the whole Fruity Pebbles thing, yabba dabba bitch. I mean, all that stuff. You know, The Rock is back to scratch a major itch. So enjoy your Fruity Pebbles, you yabba dabba bitch. Like, how can you not like that? There's so many people right now that are like, this guy sucks because I just did that. I'm sorry. Damn it. Here we go with number 9, Tyler Reks. Oh, God, remember him? He's a former WWE wrestler who has probably already faded from the memory of all most dedicated fans. He was never able to rise further than the lower mid-card, despite having a unique look and being adequate worker. Rex asked for his release in 2012 due to his desire to retire from wrestling business and spend more time with his family. The former talent's beef with John Cena stems from the way he was allegedly treated regarding the use of his finisher, the Burning Hammer, which is a variation of the Death Valley Driver, similar to Cena's attitude adjustment. Rex claims that Cena pulled him aside and spoke to him as if he were a child, asking why he was using that move and who approved it. Tyler said he had been using the move on TV for months and no one in management had ever said there was a problem with it. Unsurprisingly, Rex adopted a different finisher after that conversation, although it's not like he was using finishers on guys often anyway. Tyler also claims that the angle between Awesome Truth was stolen from he and Kurt Hawkins, and that Cena had a hand in that as well. It's impossible to know if there's any validity to the claim or if it's just sour grapes, but I'm going to go ahead and say there is, because Cena's a weird dude. He really is. I don't even know him, but based on his experience with Tommy, our war veteran, and just the way he is, he's got that pompousy, rich dingleberry attitude. He's not from the streets, guys. He's from West Newbury, Massachusetts. Just so you know. I'm from Boston. John Cena isn't from Boston. Mickie James, number 8. Former WWE wrestler Kenny Dykstra has claimed that Mickie was cheating on him with Cena, which caused him to be shuffled off to SmackDown away from the two. Eventually, John broke off the affair with Mickie and married his high school sweetheart in 2009, and supposedly James, unable to cope with this rejection, went a little overboard and became difficult to deal with. Soon she went from being involved in top angles and having the title to being shuffled off Raw and given the Piggy James gimmick. Biggie James, which many feel was a way for management to publicly shame her. While her brief soar with the champion may have been beneficial to her status within WWE, while it was happening, no one can argue that it was a breakdown of their romance that hurt her career. Damn. Don't mess around with John Cena. You'll get buried. It's like a mafia over there. Number 7, Kenny Dykstra. Kenny Dykstra, boy. Well, so he's there because of Mickie James, I suppose. Dykstra alleges a large part of the reason he never broke through his glass ceiling was due to the infidelity of Mickie with the company's megastar John Cena. Dykstra then called out Cena for betting rats, wrestling groupies, as well as married diva who wow, this is some interesting stuff. So Cena's banging everyone. Number 6, Chris the Masterpiece Masters, or as we know him, Chris Mordesky. He's another example of a performer who felt like his career tragically, or his career trajectory was leading somewhat different than it actually did. Chris Masters' beef with John Cena is not an actual personal conflict, but just his lack of desire to wrestle him, to how stiff he found him. Oh, yeah. He had this to say about working with the former Doctor of Thugonomics. That guy had some heavy fists. Carlito and I used to joke around that in tag matches with Cena and HBK, we would literally rush to get to Shawn Michaels because he wasn't as heavy with his hands, and the other guy would be stuck with Cena, and you'd be potatoed by each left and right arm. I remember Elimination Chamber. I felt like I was in a real shoot fight. It's not that he's bad. He just gets really fired up, and he's got big hands. He doesn't realize his own strength. For anyone who's ever seen John Cena apply the STF, you probably find it hard to believe that someone is accusing him of working stiff. But if a hoss like Chris Masters dreads working with you, you're probably throwing some heavy hands around. Man, number 5, maybe shocking to some, Batista. Batista on this list. When Batista and Cena have always had parallel career paths, similar to Triple H and The Rock. They both were groomed in Ohio Valley Wrestling before they were called up to the main roster. Well, also I think Cena was in Massachusetts, but okay. But yeah, they both went to OVW eventually. Batista said this regarding Cena and his role in making WWE PG environments, something he's been very vocal about. I think they did the whole PG direction thing. I think that works for Cena. The little kids love him because he's a great character. He's someone they can look up to. The girls love him. Good-looking guy, says all the right things, does all the right things, but the hardcore fans can't stand him. He is Mr. Hockey, Mr. PG, or Mr. Hokey. I was like, hockey, what the hell? Mr. Hokey, Mr. PG. To me, he killed hardcore, edgy wrestling. That blame shouldn't fall on Cena's shoulders. He's just following the company's guidelines, but the fact that he's such a squeaky clean character while enjoying tremendous success is what prolonged the TV PG era. Who knows if we'll ever see the end. So number 5 was Batista. Blue Tista. Number 4, CM Punk. So it should come as no surprise that his name lands on this list, since having heat complaining... well, hold on, let me just make this a little bigger for you. There you go. You can read a little more of it this way. Punk's career, and the two had incredible in-ring chemistry together. Punk still managed to find time to whine about the 15-time champ. It wasn't so much the man himself that Punk found his frustrations with, but more so the way his character was booked and the fact that he felt he had to play second fiddle to Cena at all times. Now, no one can question the veracity of these claims, where Punk jump-started his entire mega push by beating Cena at Money in the Bank in 2011, but Brooks has never let logic get in the way of his tantrums. It's always felt like there was an uneasy, begrudging respect between the two, as if they were forced to work together, but would have both preferred the other didn't exist. Yeah, you talk about two opposites right there who made it to the top. I'm probably more like CM Punk myself. And I can't imagine it, working with somebody like Cena, who just seems like a very bizarre person. Cena is so weird. Punk is weird, too. I'm probably somewhere in the middle, but... man. Number 3, Wade Barrett. Maybe this is all starting to make sense why Wade Barrett always gets knocked down. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. We've all heard the story Chris Jericho and Edge talk on Talk is Jericho about Cena's admittance stance that he survived the DDT on concrete and then single-handedly defeated the remaining Nexus members in their elimination match at SummerSlam 2010. Barrett recently made his feelings known about Cena in an interview. He has been the face for 10 years. He's really good at what he does, but everyone knows that I don't like John Cena, and he just doesn't like me either. You're right, he does get booed by a lot of fans. A lot of people don't like him, but he sells a lot more t-shirts than any other merchandise than anyone else. So there are a lot of people out there who like him too. Either way, everyone has an opinion about him. I respect that. Personally, I don't like him and he doesn't like me. We are not friends. Whether this is due to resentment over the way his feud with Cena was handled or something else entirely, add Bad News Barrett to the list of people who aren't card-carrying members of the C Nation. Number 2, Mr. Anderson. Ken Anderson, Mr. Kennedy. Anderson also injured top stars John Cena and Randy Orton. And we all know about Randy Orton. I mean, Randy Orton got him fired, as far as I'm concerned. Within Randy Orton in particular blowing a gasket over Anderson, botching a backdrop, he wasn't well liked in the backstage by the power brokers. That was pretty much it for Anderson, a WWE guy who was on the road to being a superstar, was future endeavored, and now dwells in the no man's land of TNA. Anderson has stated that Cena went to management and called him unsafe and terrible to work with, and has stated that along with being the victim of several personal burials at the hands of WWE's top star, he just isn't a fan. To his credit, now that he's away from the situation and he's a little more clarity, he only blames himself for getting fired. But it's clear that there's still some sort of deep-seated resentment from Anderson toward his former coworkers. And it was kind of weird. It's always been bizarre. I don't know if the guy was really unsafe. It's hard to say if it was unsafe or were John Cena and Randy Orton a little too touchy. But then again, why aren't they touchy about everyone else? Or are they? I don't know. I guess you got to be careful with the two prizes in the ring, Orton and John Cena. And maybe Mr. Kennedy was more worried about making a name for himself than keeping safety there. But at the same time, maybe Cena's a bitch. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. I know there's a lot of other guys that this hasn't happened to, though. It's only happened seemingly to Kennedy. Am I wrong? I don't know. And I don't know how I feel about Cena because I don't know Cena. I have no idea. I've never met Cena. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I get the sense that me, Joe Cronin, and John Cena would not get along. We both grew up watching wrestling around the same time. He's a little bit older than me. But I do get the sense that we wouldn't get along. Maybe we would. I tend to get along with everyone, but it's just, if you're fake and kind of a dick, I don't like you. I don't know if that's Cena. Maybe Cena just works hard and is, dedicated to things, and other people that aren't, he either can't stand or can't understand. And then maybe those people can't understand why he's so dedicated in particular. And then that clashes. That may be it. I'd love to know that answer. I'm sure Cena doesn't give a shit. But I'd like to know that answer. Number 1, Chavo Guerrero. Which is awful, by the way. I had no idea about this, and now I'm really scared to read this article. Because I love Chavo Guerrero. Here's an excerpt from a tweet rant back in 2011. Wow. And it says Chavo Guerrero has a personal vendetta against Cena. If Cena breaks the great Ric Flair's 16-time champ record, I will never watch wrestling again. I call a boycott of Cena matches if he does. How many of you are tired of John Cena being champion? Don't get all excited. It's just a question. Wow, it's an overwhelming tirade of Cena response. It's not me, it's all the fans. I could literally retweet hundreds of tired responses. Now my opinion, Cena is better than me on the mic, but I could out-wrestle Cena with my eyes closed and one hand tied behind my back. Truth. Some are saying that Cena is a great athlete. Really? Come on. Are you blind? I know Cena, and I could beat him in any sport except weightlifting, golf, basketball, bowling, a race, tennis, horseshoes, hitting a baseball, pitch, catching a football, anything. Let someone just said Cena is a better athlete than Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Are they retarded? No offense to a challenge person. We're not going to waste time picking apart any of that statement, says the article writer. Chavo was entitled to his opinion, which he gave to ProWrestling.net in an interview where he criticized Cena for being lazy in the ring, and which I've seen that. And then once again in 2013 interview with Fox News Latino, where he delivers the following quotes. If he can't wrestle, then he can't wrestle, you know. Very, very few and far between do we get a Triple H or Rey Mysterio or Randy Orton. That doesn't happen too much anymore. It's very few and far between. You can tell who's making a John Cena look good. Out of all the things John Cena can rightfully be criticized for, I don't think there's anyone, even his most stern detractors, who honestly believe he can't wrestle. This entire campaign just feels like professional jealousy at its worst from a performer who is long past his expiration date. Wow. The article goes on to write, know of anyone else who doesn't have the highest opinion of the industry top star? Name that person. I want you guys to name a person who maybe didn't like John Cena, or maybe John Cena doesn't get along with. Is there someone on this list that we missed out on? Or that what culture missed out on? I can't talk. It's late at night. 10 major WWE superstars that hated John Cena. There they are, in all their glory. And I bet you there's more, to be honest. But all I know is one thing. It's July 21st, and I watched John Cena in a match with Kevin Owens have the best matches of John Cena's career in those matches. And I got to give him credit for that. And his go time was there. These men could have had a 1-hour Iron Man match, and it would have tore the house down. Granted, Cena looks lazy in some maneuvers. That is true. But at the same time, I can't say he's a bad athlete, because Cena is one of the best athletes for his size, stature, and wrestling style that I've seen. Maybe that's crazy. I definitely understand that Chavo Guerrero is a much bigger, well-rounded athlete. But Cena's go time is something to at least applaud. His cardio, his ability to look young still, like a 28-year-old running and jumping around in there. And maybe you say, well, no, he doesn't look like that. Seth Rollins looks like that. Cena never moved like Seth Rollins. It's just not his style. It's not his size. It's just the way he moves. But for Cena, he does okay. You all know that I've been the biggest Cena hater for the last 10 years, and I can't stand him. And you know what I can't stand more? That over time, John Cena seemed to get worse to me. But in the last year, Cena has somehow gotten better. So while I've sat here wanting Cena to crash and burn and finally be done with him, he's gotten better. And I just can't take that away from him. I really can't. And I'm not going to take that away from anyone. But I can't say that if I wasn't in the WWE, that I wouldn't want to smash his head with a brick. Well, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't smash anyone's head with a brick. That'd be retarded. But I can't say that I wouldn't pour salad dressing on his tighty whities. Or maybe unorganized some of that shit that he likes organized so well. All I'm saying is, John Cena, God, do I hate you. But damn, have you proved us all wrong. I'm Joe Cronin. We'll see you in the next video. Make sure to click the like button, leave your comment below. And body slam that subscribe button.
Joe Cronin Show presents a show with attitude.
Hello everybody there, right there on the Joe Cronin Show. The hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing you, everyone, the very best.
Pleasure to be on the Joe Cronin Show, the Native America Tatanka.
You're watching The Joe Cronin Show.